Hello there, welcome to Chuck's Diecast Car and Model Reviews. Today we are taking a look at probably one of the most famous Formula One cars. Not necessarily because it was a great champion car or anything like that, but simply due to the fact that it's probably the most unique Formula One car ever made. This is the Tyrrell P34. This model is made by Minichamps and is in 1/18 scale. This particular model represents a model of the Tyrrell P34 as driven by South African driver Jody Scheckter. It is actually a replacement for another model of the P34 that I had as well, and that is this one here. This is a P34 as made by, I believe, GP Models or something like that, but it actually doesn't have a brand name on the bottom. But the reason why I got this one is that it is much more detailed. Also, it is Jody Scheckter's car as opposed to Patrick Depaillet's car. Although I have seen this particular car run around Laguna Seca during the historic races. Yeah, this car, of course, is very famous for the fact that it is the only Formula One car ever to race with 6 wheels. Williams and Ferrari each came up with their own concepts. When Tyrrell came out with this because, everybody tries to copy each other in Formula One, but 6-wheel cars were banned, and in the end, like I said, this car wasn't all that successful, and in fact, I understand Jody Scheckter didn't really like driving it, even though he did have a win in this car. He won the Swedish Grand Prix in, I believe, 1976, and Patrick Depaillet finished in second, so it did have some success, but that was its only win. Okay, and the reason why I bought this model is, like I said, it has greater detail than the other model, and it is a nicer model. So let's go ahead and take a look at things here. I guess we'll start where I usually start, which is the side here. Graphics are very nice, and the detailing on the radiator looks very good. That is a wire mesh. If you take a look at my Depaillet car, you can see just how lacking in detail it is there. Detailing here on the wheels and tires is very nice. Can't really see inside the wheels there because of the black wheels and the light, but it is okay. And then in the front, though, it's less deep, so you can see these little 10-inch tires with the little tiny disc brakes and calipers in there, so that's kind of neat. You look here and you can see also some nice detailing here in the suspension too, and the wheels do turn somewhat in unison, so again, that is some very nice detail there. Taking a look at the front here, it doesn't really have a front wing. It has more like an air dam, and the concept behind the P34 is not necessarily that they wanted to have 4 separate contact patches, but what they wanted to do is, the wing width was mandated by regulation, and Tyrrell's team thought, maybe if we could tuck the wheels behind the wing, it would reduce the frontal area and give an aerodynamic advantage. But of course, if you have 2 small wheels, contact patch is much smaller than the standard tires and wheels, so they came up with the four-wheel front end concept there. Although when you look at it here, notice that the rear wheels still have the gigantic tires that they had back then, so they still stuck out a good 6 inches or more on either side. So I don't know what kind of advantage having the front wheels as they were would infer, but it sure was a neat idea. And of course, back in these days, there were no computers. There was little, much less understanding of aerodynamics. So they kind of just experimented really more than anything else when it came to designing the aerodynamics for cars. Okay, and also you'll see here that they've got an air dam on here with, again, more detail here than the Depailler car that I have. Those silver things are more like when you see the car in person, they're these sort of tongue depressor or popsicle stick shaped pieces of aluminum with screws or bolts holding the air dam in place. So again, it's kind of a simple and rudimentary design there compared to nowadays. I mean, you can see the exposed rivets and all that sort of stuff, things you wouldn't see on a modern car. But again, nice detail on this model. Okay, and well, let's go ahead and take a look at this engine. Now, yeah, the reason I got this model is because the P34 for much of its career had an exposed engine like this, and being that it is exposed, it's kind of an important visual part of the car. And the other model, again, I'll go ahead and bring it over here, is not nearly as detailed here. I mean, look at the velocity stacks where they're supposed to be screened. It's just silver painted plastic, and this actually has screens. Okay, again, much more detail here, even in the rear suspension. Notice it has inboard ventilated disc brakes. The sway bar, anti-roll bar is mounted up on the car as opposed to low. And then there's also, I guess that's a transmission cooler there underneath the wing on the right hand side. So, and then you can also see the black ducting to blow air onto the brake rotors. So nice detail there. Looking at the cockpit, well, poor Mr. Schechter here has a broken visor. I mean, I got this model used, so that's part of the reason why I got it for less. But you can see, nice detail on Schechter's helmet. The breathing tube for, I believe that's an emergency oxygen supply, is there. And even the detail here on Jody's hands, which seems to be problematic for some car models, Formula One models. Looks pretty good. Not much really to see in a Formula One car of this era's dash. It just had attack and oil and temperature gauges, and the steering wheel might have had a button for the radio, and that's about it. But nice detailing here on the rear view mirror, as you can see. That is, if I can focus on it. And it's kind of interesting to see how it's kind of fared into the body of the car. And underneath there, you can see the little windows that they put in there so the drivers can pick out the apex of the corners, supposedly, and also check the condition of the front tires as well. So again, nice detail on this particularly in the engine compartment. Detailing on the underside, well, it is a Formula One car, so there's, you know, a flat bottom here. And then you can also, that is if I can get it to focus, you can also see the underside of the engine, the sumps, and all the goodies down here as well. You can see the tubing to the radiators and so on and so forth. So again, nice detail there. Okay, so that is my review of this, like I said, famous car here. Now, if you're interested in actually seeing one of these running in a movie, you can see it in the movie Rush, which is the story of the Formula One battle between James Hunt and Niki Lauda back in 1976. So it's kind of neat that they have it in that movie. Or, of course, you can always go to Laguna Seca, see it run there during the historic races. The Depailler car is owned by Bruce Canepa, who actually has a garage and museum up near Santa Cruz, so it's not too far from Laguna Seca, so you can also check it out at his museum as well. Alright, well, that is it for my review now, so I hope you enjoyed that, and if so, if you please like and subscribe, I would really appreciate it. Have a nice day.